Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Summer Intensive Information Session with Art League Houston. My name is Epi Chaud. I'm the Director of Community Engagement and help run the program every summer. And I am so happy to be joined by two Summer Intensive alumni, Sophia Malik and Ava Zhang. Love to have y'all introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your different roles in the program. I'll pass it over to you, Sophia.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sophia Malik. I have been involved with the program for the past 3 years as a student mentor, and this past year as a program assistant. I'll pass it to you, Ava.
Hi, I'm Ava, and as an assistant, which I'm really looking forward to. So is
I think Ava
and a little bit more about it. So, oh no, can you hear me now?
You cut out just a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll pass it back to Epi.
Well, we missed your roles. Can you go through all the roles you've held?
Oh.
Uh-oh. Well, I'll go ahead and fill in since internet's being a little wonky. Ava was part of the 2019 cohort as a new student, and then 2020 came back as a mentor, and this year is joining us as the program assistant, which we're very excited about. We are really excited to share a little bit about the program, and this evening we'll be kind of giving you an overview about how the program works, the details of what we do in the program, and what you can hope to get out of it. So let's hop in and learn a little bit more. So you're interested in the Summer Intensive program at Art League Houston. Well, let's take a little tour of the program together. Art League Houston, located at 1953 Montrose Boulevard, is a nonprofit community art center and exhibition space situated in the heart of Houston's historic Montrose neighborhood. The mission of Art League Houston is to connect the community through diverse, dynamic, and creative experiences that bring people together to see, make, and talk about contemporary visual art. The Summer High School Studio Art Intensive, also known as the Summer Intensive, was established in 2014 at Art League Houston. Each summer, 16 artists between the ages of 14 and 17 years old spend 4 weeks with ALH to build their practice and explore the Houston arts ecosystem. Workshop sessions that explore new media and techniques are led by professional artists. Students also work on a collaborative mural project, have site visits to art spaces, and have open studio time, which includes one-on-one studio visits with professional artists. Students meet with professional artists in short workshop format to allow for time to work without the pressures of assignments or deadlines. Visiting artists lead students through workshops that investigate materials and techniques, as well as inquiry-based working styles. Students are encouraged to engage with the visiting artists and ask questions. This is time to learn from and make connections with working artists, as well as to explore different approaches to building an art practice. The summer intensive cohort also engages in site visits to a variety of local art spaces. Students will visit large institutions as well as small grassroots spaces. During these visits, students meet with arts professionals and get an insider look at how arts spaces and organizations operate. They will also learn about the variety of careers in the arts, as well as learn of resources that are available to them in Houston. Each intensive cohort has the opportunity to work with a professional muralist to collaboratively design and execute a public art mural. Students begin the project with research. The cohort undertakes individual research as well as collectively meeting with stakeholders. Then students develop a design and work with the muralist to execute the project in a high visibility public space. The Mentoring Alum program invites students who have successfully completed the program to apply to return for a second year. Mentors help guide new students through the program, facilitate breakout sessions, assist visiting artists, and learn about studio management. Students may earn community service hours for participation in the Mentoring Alum program. The summer intensive program culminates in an exhibition designed by the cohort. The exhibition features work from each student and is held in the front gallery at Art League Houston. An exhibition opening is held, and each artist gives a short artist talk about their work. The exhibition is on view to the public for approximately 1 month. Please visit the Art League Houston website for more information about this year's summer intensive program, and feel free to contact ALH with any questions you may have.
Okay, that
So,
was a little bit of information about just a general overview of the program. And now Ava and I are going to kind of talk about our experience with the program and how it's helped us.
yep.
Um,
Would you like to start us off?
sure. So for me, I've always wanted to kind of have art as a business. And I think for a lot of people, they forget that art is a business in and of itself. So for me, when I'm trying to build my presence on social media or interact with people within the art community, um, I would be completely lost if it weren't for Art League in terms of that. I mean, they've given me resources like how to put your art in an exhibit or manage your social media platforms, or even joining like a communal studio space where you have an exhibition with everyone in the community. So those, for me, those are a few things that have been especially important in this program. Um, also like learning how to use new materials that you wouldn't usually use is
Definitely.
super important and key to like discovering yourself as an artist, especially as a young artist joining this program.
Um, I did the program. My first year in the program was the year after my freshman year in high school. So I'm still in high school. So I'm actually a junior. So I'm coming to the point where I'm starting to kind of decide on certain things about like what I want to continue to do. And I think Art League and the resources and the opportunity that this program specifically has given me has been a really big like factor in deciding what I want to do because I know I think Sophia probably also feels similar. Like talking with Epi and the artists that come in, like you get a lot of insight that I feel like I would not have gotten otherwise. Um, so
And
that's helped me make a lot of like decisions about what I want to do. So
yeah, and also leadership skills, especially with the student mentor program. Um, you're able to learn a lot about how to lead in art where everybody has a different take. Um, and that can be difficult to balance, but I think the mentor program helps learn how to adjust to different personalities and tastes.
I think also the program does a great job of like kind of letting the participants make a lot of decisions on their own, like with the mural and the exhibition and even the workshops. There's not a lot of specific things. Like I think a lot of times we find in like art classes at schools or other places, it's a lot more like traditional or confined to a certain like standard. But at Art League, it's definitely a lot more like about the experimentation that I think you don't really get to try anywhere else. So
Yeah, one thing I really like about the Teen Summer Intensive program is that um, there's a combination of experimental stuff as well as like technical, traditional art stuff. So you're able to experiment, learn about yourself and your style, but also um, develop your technical skills, which it can be important if that's something you're interested in. Um, I
yeah, I
personally
also
really
agree
like that. Mm-hmm.
with that because like I think the way the program is structured, it gives you a lot of time to experiment, but then with the exhibition at the end, you can like definitely use that time to create like portfolio worthy pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really have to feel like you have to like each piece you make, you don't feel that pressure to make it like a complete product. So um,
Um,
you want to go, Sophia, about the
I think,
exhibition?
oh, um, yes. Um, so every year we have an exhibition at the end of the program. Um, and students will come together and make the theme of the program themselves rather than, say, Epi or Art League itself making the theme of the program. So the students will come together and brainstorm different ideas for the final exhibition. Um, Drawings, just bouncing ideas off of each other, that type of thing. Um, this past year, our theme was All That We See or Seem Is But a Dream Within a Dream. And everyone based their pieces off of that prompt.
Yeah. So we, like Sophia's saying, we have an exhibition every year, and it's like a really good opportunity to kind of learn about like the going-ons of an exhibition too, because there's not many chances where, as a student, you can have your work displayed in like a museum or art space. So it's definitely in that sense a great opportunity. And then tying back into those like leadership skills, also like having to collaborate with everyone to find a theme that everyone thinks they can respond to in their own manner that's not too similar to one another is like a really good opportunity for kind of building that collaboration between artists, and um, definitely think that like whole discussion process makes like the outcome a lot more valuable.
Yeah, students are also encouraged to try mediums that they aren't comfortable with or aren't experienced with for the final exhibition in order to, make something interesting and something that they can be proud of for experimenting with.
Yeah.
Um,
And also, so like going off what Sophia said, I actually, for my first year, I tried literally completely new everything. I never oil painted, I never painted on wood, and I also did wood burning, which I had never done. So all three of those things were completely new for me. But that was my exhibition piece, and I was very encouraged by Art League to try new things, and also while you're in the exhibition, you have a lot of say in how you want your work to be displayed. So for my pieces specifically, they were like two-sided, so we had a lot of figuring out to do with like where in the room we were going to put them so that both sides would be able to be seen. So like being a part of the install too is a good experience, I think.
Coming away from the exhibition a little bit, let's talk about the mural. The first year that we had the mural project, it was at Sawyer Yards, and we did basically a huge map of the art district in Houston. Each person had a piece of the map that they would fill in, basically relating to something about Houston or the art district. And yeah, it was really cool and really fun and hot.
Yeah, the mural is definitely like another large collaborative exercise, because coming up with the prompt and then like being able to split the work in a way that everyone's able to feel like they contributed their part. Yeah, there's a little time lapse of us painting in the sun, um, and then also being able to have it exhibited in a space that's as frequently toured as like Sawyer Yards or even you know other public art spaces. That's like also a really cool thing because you get your name on this mural that a lot of people are going to see, and it's going to stay there for a long time. So that is definitely another like very rewarding part of the experience, I think, along with like the exhibition. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I first heard that we were doing that project, I was super excited. I I was really excited. I thought it was the best thing ever.
I mean, yeah. When else do you get a chance to paint a mural with like a bunch of students too? Like,
Yeah,
um,
and a professional artist, a professional
yeah,
muralist, which
and
is
work with a
even
professional
cooler.
muralist, definitely. And the creative control that they give you for that too is also like very nice because the students don't feel like they have to do a certain thing. It's like a lot about coming up with their own prompt and for themselves. So
Yeah, it's really cool. Now we're going to look at the application process for this program.
Excited about the summer intensive program at Art League Houston? Ready to apply? Let's talk about the process. Applications for the summer intensive are accepted in early spring. Summer intensive applications are submitted online. Please contact ALH if you require alternate accommodations. ALH uses the Submittable platform to accept applications to the program. Using Submittable is free. All you need is an email address to set up an account. The application has two major components: work samples and essay questions. Essay answers are given equal weight to work samples in the selection process. Thoughtful answers are valued. Work samples are images of artwork. Artwork is judged on the quality of vision and the artistic voice, and not on access to art materials. There's no need for professional photography when submitting work samples. Cell phone images are just fine. We recommend taking photographs in indirect natural light. Make sure to align your image and crop if needed. Applications to the Summer Intensive program are reviewed by a panel of professional artists. A good candidate for the program is interested in building their practice and exploring new techniques and mediums. Applicants are notified via email within a couple of weeks of the application deadline. The program has limited capacity. For those who are not accepted, ALH highly encourages you to apply again in the following year if you are eligible. What are the next steps after you've been accepted into the program? First, respond to the acceptance email to confirm that you will attend. Next, complete and submit your registration packet and required immunization records. Then commit to attend all sessions of the program and have a good time. Summer intensive tuition is $500. However, through local and national support, ALH has been able to provide full scholarships to all students for the past several years. Scholarship availability is announced as soon as possible on the Art League Houston website. ALH provides almost all needed supplies for the summer intensive workshops. Students are asked to provide minimal materials, often ephemera or specialty items students may need for their final works. Students are also welcome to bring and use their own supplies as well. We look forward to seeing your application. Have additional questions? Please email Epi Chad, Director of Community Engagement at Art League Houston. So we covered some of the information about the program. Thank y'all for sharing your experience. We've got some really good questions that are specific to the two of you. Sasha R. asks, what type of new materials has the program introduced you to that may have impacted your body of work?
So for me, I think a couple of materials that I learned about in an art league and have continued to use them is cyanotypes, which is basically chemical treated paper. And when you put objects on it and then put it in the sun, it'll turn color. And then you put it in water and it'll make an image in blue, which is why they're called cyanotypes. That and found object sculpture, which I guess it's pretty self-explanatory by the name, but basically anything that you have or you can find, you can make a sculpture out of it, which I think is super cool. So.
For me, I started using oil paints, which was a big step up for me because I really enjoy using them now. I also began to experiment with like painting on kind of different materials, not necessarily just like canvas or like paper and stuff like that. Um, Also, embroidery for me was a big thing, and then I'm sure Abby and Sophia have heard this multiple times, but we learned how to bookbind last year, and that was definitely one of my favorite like workshops because that sketchbook like was very accessible to make. Like the materials were accessible, and I still use it now. If I had it beside me, I'd show you, but I do not. So
Yeah, I have to say it's been a real joy to see both of you develop over the past several years and try new things. Sophia's final piece for last year's show, the year before, no, it was last year, um, time, uh, was a really cool departure from your work in the past, and you went installation based, and that just like tickled my heart. Um, and Ava, I really loved your pieces last year. It was really playing with like layering and an interpretation of the human imagination. Um, the show from last year was actually held virtually and is still available on the Art League website if anyone is interested in checking out the work. So the next question, what advice would you give applicants when they're writing their applications for this program? I think this one's a really good one because it can be a little bit daunting, and I think that um, this is often the first time that people have used the Submittable platform, but Submittable is kind of one of the standard platforms for submitting work for shows and applying for residencies and scholarships. So it's good. It's good practice. But we all talk a little bit about your experience with application process.
I can go. So for me personally, I submitted like I first applied after my freshman year, so it was like very early on in kind of my art journey, as you would call it. And it was like definitely one of my first few experiences like applying for something officially. Um, and so when they're writing the applications, the art league application really is not like a very like it's thorough, but it's not like time like doesn't make you feel bad when you're applying to it. Um, I think for me, I just try to focus on like what I hope to gain out of the program, um, and like how I wanted this to be like an opportunity for me, and I kind of focused on like, at that point in time, I had a pretty like traditional art like education, like I not a lot of experimenting, and more like technique based like work. So I was really focusing on like trying to broaden my kind of perspective on that. So that was what I focused on.
Yeah, I think focusing on what can help you improve and how giving examples of how you've improved and how that can benefit you in the program is really important to put in your applications.
Thank you both for sharing that. I think we're coming close to the end of our time together. I want to thank everyone who tuned in for joining us on a Friday evening. The application deadline for the summer intensive is April 30th. You can find the application on the Art League Houston website. And there are links to both the new student application and then also the mentoring alum application. for those students who'd like to come back and join us again for another summer. There is plenty of time to reach out to Art League if you have questions about the application process, need any help with taking images or want advice. We are there to help. Just reach out and shoot me an email, and be happy to offer what assistance I can. Thanks again, and we look forward to seeing some great applications this year. Thank you, Sophia and Ava, for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.